What is up, everybody? We are bringing you another episode of Vegans Who Lift, your podcast brought to you by your favorite vegans, myself, John Thomas, aka the Bodybuilding Vegan, and we got Brooke Sellers, aka Miss Meatless Muscle, in the house as always. We may have switched up the sides, maybe we didn't. I don't know. I don't watch all these on YouTube, but you guys do. And somebody commented that we switched sides last week. We're just playing musical chairs, guys. But today we got a pretty value-packed episode for you guys. We did not finish the Q&A from 2 weeks ago. So if you guys were desperately waiting for your questions to be answered, thank you for being patient. We're going to get through questions 23, hopefully through all the way to 41 today. Anyways, I've already done my normal thing of talking way more than I should. So I'm going to say, let's hand this over to Brooke. We'll probably do the wins of the week, Shaker Cup game, all that stuff, but I'm going to hand it over to her.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a lot of good questions today, so we're going to give some more value to you guys. Yeah, you want to go ahead and get into wins?
Yeah, it's going to be wins. It's not going to be a win.
Yeah, I've got one win this week.
So this might look like a super cool Galaxy style headband thing that you might wear at the gym, but it's actually not that. It's that and a bandage, because as you guys know, I just got my head tattooed. What you didn't know is I went ahead and paid the $5,000 to get tattoo removal surgery. So I did remove. Just kidding. I wear that when I go out in the sun because I don't want to ruin my tattoo. And so, yeah, I have the word vegan tattooed on the side of my head. For those of you that cannot see this, if you haven't seen it, go check out Instagram, go check out YouTube. We got it there. But we beat the 5,000 for the fundraiser. So that's my first win. And people are still dropping donations. A friend dropped $350 yesterday. Like, aww. Henry is going to be set for life on pig food, and he needs pig food. He's a big dude. Anyways, that's going to be my first win. Is we really nailed that, knocked that out of the park for him. And I almost want to talk about the whole thing, but that would be, I'm releasing a vlog today. If y'all want to hear my whole thoughts about this, go check out the vlog on my YouTube channel. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and talk about that the whole episode. Other win, sometimes you take a shot and you make it. And I randomly came across this guy named Silas, aka Vegantron, on Instagram. Or it might be Vegan Fitron, Vegan Fitron, one of the two. And he lives like 30 minutes from me, and he's 41. He's been vegan for 4 years. He said in those 4 years, he's now stronger than when he was 31 and has more energy than when he was 21. We did an entire workout together, and I almost did a muscle up at the end because he's all into like the calisthenics. So I'm really hoping that like by next week's podcast, I can be like, guys, I did the muscle up. So I made a friend, and it was an amazing time. You don't always know when you meet somebody online how they're going to be in person. Rolled the dice with you, Brooke, and that worked out very well. I have rolled the dice with other people, and it has not worked out well. So anyway, those are my wins. Yeah. How about yourself?
Well, I just wanted to, I have a few comments on what you just said, but yeah, it's so crazy, like how you meet people online and they're totally different in person. And it's so true with social media. Social media is such a highlight reel, and really anybody can be who they want to be on social media. So it's really telling when you meet somebody in person and they're actually as authentic as they are online. And that's always awesome. I was going to ask you, how long do you have to wear your bandage? It's been so long. I've gotten a tattoo. I don't even remember like the aftercare of a tattoo.
So I am not the expert, so y'all take this with a grain of salt. I just actually researched it again this morning because I'm hoping to go to the beach tomorrow. And they said, like, yeah, no direct sunlight for at least 4 weeks, but aim for 6 months. I'm like, dang, nobody's gonna see this. But I believe that's like industry standard. So like I'll just wear this bandage when I walk around my neighborhood to get my steps in, as often as I remember. Sometimes I forget. And then other aftercares, like just put like lotion or Aquaphor, like unscented soap, things like that. It's been totally fine ever since it really, 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 really hurt during. Not gonna lie. I think I'm okay with pain, but it made me feel like a baby. Um but it's been totally fine since. So it's
Well,
just
that's
my hair
good.
is already growing back in. I'm gonna have to like shave my head again soon. They
Yeah, you're
said
gonna
wait
have
a little
a
bit.
lot of upkeep with that.
I should have actually done laser hair removal and then gotten the tattoo, but I would have had to start that process like 2 years ago. So yeah,
Yeah. You never
live and
know
learn.
though. You might want some hair one day.
Well, if you can see, I'm kind of screwed either way. It's gonna be there. The V at least will stick out.
Yeah.
So there's
It'll
no
be a
going back. And I'm
mystery.
yeah. What a V for what? Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, and then I'll shut up. But I got to the gym yesterday. It's a new gym. It's not my gym. It was Silas's gym. And dude at the front desk goes, "Whoa, cool tattoo. Are you really vegan?" I'm like literally wearing the bodybuilding vegan shirt, got vegan on my head. The other guy at the counter is like, "Really, dude?" He's like, "Well, vegans can't get that big, can they?" I'm like, "Bro, thank you. Been vegan for 18 years." He's like, "No way." So like he was actually interested and he thought it was a joke. So clearly my attempt at making this as clearly not I'm gonna put like on the other side, like, yes, I am actually vegan.
Yeah, put like some fine print right above vegan. Yes, I actually
Yeah.
am vegan. I know that's so funny. It's like, dude, if I got a head tattoo, I don't. You don't even have to ask. Like that's just one of those understood things at that point.
Yeah. 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 I'll put a little asterisk on this tattoo, be like, see other side.
It's so funny.
Oh
So
man.
you guys did were you hitting weights or did you do a lot of body weight type stuff?
So I got the whole workout recorded. It's actually still uploading now. That's how much footage I took. Like it's been uploading for like 24 hours. But we did like kind of a hybrid. Like we did some weights and then we did some weird things, like things that were really outside of my comfort zone. Like, and that's why I did it because it was outside my comfort zone. Normally I would never do this stuff, but he's like, okay, we're gonna do one plate on the bench for 10 reps. Then we're gonna do 10 push-ups, and then two plates for 10 reps, and then 10 push-ups, and then two plates and a quarter. And we're gonna go for 10. And like, dude, after two plates for 10, I was done. I had to do push-ups on my knees. Like I shook his hand. I said,
Damn.
you got me, dude. Like this is different for me. Like I had the craziest chest pump in my life. It doesn't really make sense to me, but it was so different from what I'm used to, like just going heavy, that it felt great. Kind of the same thing. We did overhead press with one plate. And then on the third set, we just took off the plate. He's like, all right, just do the bar as many times as you can. I'm like, be here all day. And I did like 32 reps. And by the end, I was like, holy shit, that was actually really hard. So it was way different than what I'm used to. So I'm a little
Yeah.
sore today. The calisthenics, he broke down the muscle up. Almost like if your deadlift is really good off the floor, but you suck at the lockout, you would add bands to work that lockout position. He broke down the muscle. I don't need to work on the pull-up part. I need to work on like the flipping up onto it. So he set a bar, maybe like chest height, and he had me practice jumping up from there. And like I was so close. Even another guy in the gym came up and was like, dude, you were right there. And I was like, oh, well. So maybe I will do a muscle up here one day. And then he offered to come and do a whole bodybuilding style day with me. And now he's 6'5", and I'm like, let's do a leg day. Just picking
Oh
on him.
boy. Yeah, I know. I've never been a huge fan of like the body weight kind of calisthenics type training, but I know it's kind of like a cultish thing. I find like when people who do calisthenics, like they love it, like they're like obsessed with it. But I can see the advantages to that sort of style of training because I'm sure, I mean, in some ways, it's probably a lot easier on your joints and maybe I guess a little bit less risk of injury. I don't know if you're doing less weight, and I do feel like, man, when I do less weight and I do more volume, you do to get a crazy pump. Like the pump is awesome. Whereas like when you go really heavy, sometimes I feel just like really beat up.
Yeah.
But I love bodybuilding style training. I don't know if I would ever get away from it. I just enjoy it so much.
For me, I think one day I'll switch. It'll be something completely different, like endurance bicycling or ultra
Now
marathons or
cycling would be fun. I would love cycling.
I enjoy it just for fun, but like trying to get good at it. Like I don't know if do you follow Ian Vier in the bodybuilding world? Um,
I
so
don't
he was
know.
Chris Bumstead's coach, and Chris Bumstead actually married Ian's. No, Ian married Chris's sister, Melissa Bumstead.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. I love
yeah.
Melissa. Yeah, they're
So
cute.
they're like all together. He
Yeah,
ended
and
up
he
just hanging out.
retired.
He retired, and this guy had done a lot in bodybuilding, made all his money that he needed to make, and now he's like, I need an outlet. So he's going to be a sprinter, and he's like working on ankle mobility, sprinting drills, and dropping a ton of weight. He's still like 240 and shredded out of his mind, but he's trying to downsize. And like I could see myself doing that one day. And I had so much fun yesterday that maybe this is a thing. Silas Vegantron, he said he does this as a way to, well, he loves the calisthenics, but he lifts because he doesn't want to be skinny. He's like, I
Yeah.
need to do the bench press so that I'm still big and people look at me and like know I'm big. And he plays football. He plays like wide receiver at this like 40 and up league. And he's like, dude, I kill these people. And I'm like, I believe it, man. He looks like he's 30. I thought he was my age, but anyways, um, yeah, calisthenics maybe in the future. We'll see. How about you? Because we talked about me this whole time. What's going on in your world? I want to switch gears.
Man, I've got a really short, simple win this week. I don't know. It's just been a chill week. But I'm gonna say this. My win this week is my coach upped my steps to 16,000 steps a day. Holy shit, yes. I'm not kidding. And I got my 16,000 steps in every day. So I'm just really proud of myself for that because I was like, oh my God, like this is impossible, but I've been able to do it. Because I wasn't fit. He had me at 15,000 and that was hard. And I only dropped like a pound. My body's just been super, super slow to respond. Um, and so he was like, all right, let's do 16,000. I was like, shit. But I'm doing it.
Now, are you doing cardio on top of that, or does like if you do your treadmill cardio that counts towards the 16,000? How does that work?
Exactly. Yeah. So I do like 30 minutes on the elliptical by my own choosing. I get to choose what cardio I do, and that counts towards my goal. So, like talking about cycling, I used to love cycling, but I don't do cycling because I have so many freaking steps to get. So it's like I'm better off, doing something like the elliptical or um, the incline treadmill. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's just crazy because I used to think like 10,000 steps was a lot, and now I'm like, damn, 16,000. But I don't know. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, especially with my walking pad. It's so easy to really get those steps. So
Yeah. You have your walking pad in your link tree on your Amazon.
no, I need to set on my Amazon.
Yeah, you need to set it up. Well, I have the same walking pad, so if you guys need one, check it out. The link is in my bio. The thing is a game changer because
Seriously.
especially if it's raining, you're like, oh, I don't want to walk out. Oh, well, I got my walking pad. There you go. And you have yours set up with your desk, right? So you can actually like full on work.
Yes, I have mine. So I have a desk that is actually it's like it has a little remote control with it and you can move it up and down. So I usually will work at that and then I'll also the treadmill has wheels on it so I can wheel it into my living room. So I've been like obsessed lately with all these like behind the scenes of making Harry Potter videos on YouTube. So I just like set my little treadmill up and I just watch that and it goes by so fast. Especially with the pollen here in Atlanta,
Oh,
it's terrible. And I have terrible allergies and I have asthma too, but I don't ever since I went vegan, I've never had any issues with my asthma until this time of year at like the height of the season and I'll start wheezing a little bit. So it's just better. It's just better to get my steps inside or like at the gym, but yeah, walking pad is a game changer. Like if anybody's out there and they're like struggling to get their steps every day, get a walking pad.
yeah. I I try my best to walk after each meal because that helps with digestion.
Yeah.
Um, so I usually throw on the headband and go around the neighborhood. But if it's hot, I don't really want to get sweaty like after every
Yeah.
meal. So I have little fans set up next to my walking pad so I can stay nice and cooled down while I walk. um, yeah. Speaking of Harry Potter, I was at Walmart of all places with Allie, and I was like, "Wait, we gotta stop. I see the Lego sets. I gotta take a picture and send it to Brooke." And I'm like, I do this every time. I just take a photo of it, but nothing ever comes of it. Like we haven't built one yet, but I'm just waiting for the day that we can do that. So,
Yeah, that was like so they have like two, well, it's kind of funny because they have different versions of like all of them. So like they have like the huge castle that's like I think $600 or something. That's like the one I have. And then they also have like a castle that's like you buy it in like sets, and then you buy it separately, and they're like $50 each probably, and they're just like different little like Dumbledore's office, and then you buy the Chamber of Secrets, and then you like put it all together. Um and then they have the train, the same thing with the train. So like they have the big like $600 train, which is like I think 18 and up, and then they have like the other train that's like for kids and stuff. So yeah, they have all kinds of different ones. I'm like right now, I'm trying to figure out what my next one is going to be. But right now, my next project is I actually have it right here on my desk. I've got these LED lights. And I've been putting it off forever because it's like a huge learning curve, and it's a little bit more nerdy than I than I have the capacity, but I'm trying to learn it. I really want to learn how to do this. It's very technical. It's way more technical than I thought it would be. But you put LED lights in the Lego set, so it all lights up, and it's so cool. Like the little candles in like the castle, you put like an LED light in it, and it's like it's awesome. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that right now. That's the project I'm working on.
dude, I got to see your sets. So with the LEDs, it's gonna look crazy.
It's gonna be epic. Yeah, you should look up. Like, I can send you a picture of the sets online because when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, I have to have that. That's gonna be so cool."
Yeah, I was doing the mental math. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you walk for like an hour, you'll get like 2,000 steps, maybe. Is that right?
No,
No,
you should get way
that
more than
can't be
that.
right. Okay.
More like it depends. Well, it
Oh,
depends on how fast you walk, but it should be somewhere like 6,000 or so.
that makes more. Okay,
Yeah.
2,000 steps is 1 mile. Most people walk about 3 miles an hour, so about 6,000 in a mile. So you're actually, or you could say like 1,000 steps every 10 minutes. So you're walking 100. You're doing, wow, my math is horrible. 16,000 steps. That's 160 minutes. That's over 2 hours every day of walking. That's a lot of walking,
Yeah.
especially if you get behind. I remember in
Oh
prep at
my
like,
gosh, yes. I know. Sometimes I just like dick around in the mornings because like what I'll do is like I'll get up in the morning and I'll just like do like 15, 20 minutes, and then that makes it so easy. And then I don't, for some reason I got in my head like, oh, this isn't that hard. Like, I can get my steps in later. Like it's no big deal to get 6,000 steps. And then like you said, like if you get behind, so then I stopped doing that in the morning, and then I would have like 8,000 steps at like 5 o'clock, and I'm just like, damn, okay, no more doing that. It's so much easier when you break it up throughout the day.
yeah. All right.
Game. Let's
Well,
get the game because we're already 20
game.
minutes in. We got a bunch of questions.
Dude, we
Okay.
just need to hang out more. We never hang out as much off air because we're so busy. So
I
this is like our
know.
time to catch
And we
up.
haven't talked in a while either. Okay, here we go. Shaker cup question. If you could open a restaurant, what kind of items would be on the menu and what would you name it?
Ooh, ooh, man, that's a hard question all the way around.
It is a
Do
it
you
is a
already
hard
have?
question.
Do you have an idea?
Hmm. I have no idea. I don't know. I would maybe want to do. Honestly, I would probably just do like one of those vegan restaurants where it's just a whole bunch of random shit. Like you go in and it's like you can order Italian, you can order Mexican, you can also order a cheeseburger. Like I'd probably just do something like that because I like everything and it's fun to
Yeah,
veganize everything. So I probably just have like a bunch of random stuff. If you want a pizza, you can get a pizza, and you can also, get a taco and some sushi.
yeah. Have you been to Ethos in Orlando? You have, right?
Oh my god, love it. I went there after my show, yes, and I pigged
Yeah.
out. It was disgusting but awesome.
they have a menu kind of like what you were saying. Like they have pizza and pancakes and Phillies and all sorts of stuff, right? At least when I went.
Yeah, it's like mostly Italian, but they have a lot of it. So like we got a shepherd's pie that's like, kind of more so like comfort food, and then they had a pizza. Oh, the garlic knots. The garlic knots are the
Oh,
best.
I do remember those.
Caesar salad. They have a good Caesar salad.
Well, I've started a YouTube series. The first video hasn't launched yet, but we're calling it Bodybuilding Vegan Eats. I think that
There
would
you
be the
go.
name of the restaurant. And then I like your idea of like kind of an eclectic menu. I think mine would be split down the middle. On one side, we have like all my favorite awesome foods like pizza, pancakes. That's like my two favorite foods, but maybe burgers, milkshakes. I don't know, all the like vegan junk. And then on the other
Yes.
side, I would be running a meal prep slash macro based menu. So protein pancakes, gluten-free low carb pizzas, things like that. I've had this idea even with like local businesses here. They make really good vegan food, but they don't offer any meal prep. They have a whole kitchen. So why not have me or something, maybe not me, but hire like an employee that does a meal prep service to like work in that kitchen like 2 hours at night or however long it takes and make like a healthier version of what they offer on the main menu and then sell that to people. Like you already got the space. Just add somebody. I don't know. That's where my business brain is at. So like I'd have a restaurant that has both. We can bring in the people that love the junk food. Or if you're a bodybuilder, you can come there and eat in the off season and while you're in prep. And you know it's gonna be good to go. So that's where I'd be.
I like that. I like that one. You know what I think my idea is gonna be? I think it's gonna be meatless munchies, and it's just gonna be a bunch of munchies.
Ha ha!
So you can come in
Yeah.
there when you got the munchies, and yeah, you can do like a dessert pizza or some just crazy shit like that.
And next door we got the green vegan for all your herbal needs.
Yes, your medicinal purposes.
So you go to Meatless Munchies, you eat your fill, then you go to the green vegan, you reinvigorate your appetite, and you go back and
And
get
then you go
more.
back.
It's
Yep.
brilliant.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that would be dangerous.
have you seen? Man, I should know. I think it's like the Be Well Fitness Bakery, the Be Well Bakery. Fitness Queen
Oh,
Ohio is doing some stuff as well.
yes, I have bought some stuff from her when I had my gut issues because it's all like gluten free, vegan, very, very healthy, very clean. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's not very, very sweet. So that's just something, for people who don't like stuff very sweet, it's probably more up your alley. You can tell it's healthy, if you know what I
Healthier.
mean, but it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got like 15 items from them sitting in my fridge, and I had a little bit of green herbal substances last night, and I was on the phone with Allie. I was like, let me show you this box. And I started going through the box, and I was so close to eating like everything in there. And I was like, I have to make content. I'm putting it away, putting it in the fridge. I may try to eat it this Sunday because I'm going out to get pizza tonight. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow's off day. Then Saturday. I don't even have my days together. I'm going to be in Orlando for a vegan food event of some. It's in my calendar. I don't remember. Sean would know. I'm going to go there and I'm going to be eating there. So I'm like, when am I going to eat all these desserts? Okay, I guess Sunday. I'm just going to get fat, dude. I'm really like almost afraid of getting fat because people are throwing so much food my way.
I know that's one of the I act like that's a hard thing. Like, oh, woe is me. Everybody sends me all this free food. Boo hoo, but like, it is tough. Like, I remember when I was in prep, because that's when my account like really started growing when I was in prep, and people would send me all this stuff. And I'm just like, damn it. Like, I'm going to blow my prep. Although I will say there was one time early in prep where somebody sent me a pound cookie. It was like huge. It was like as big as my head. And it literally weighed a pound. And it was a chocolate chip cookie, and it had all this like junk in the middle, like pretzels and all kinds of stuff. And I ate that pound cookie, and get this, I lost a pound the next day. It was like a 2,000 calorie cookie, and I was down. I ate a pound worth of cookie, and I was down a pound the next day. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, nobody has to know that happened.
Yeah, I only have one day that I cheated on prep. Only one. And I'll be honest. Literally one day. We were like 12 or 14 weeks out. And it was before I was like a signed athlete with Crave, the plant-based meal company. And they sent me like 8 meals with the macros listed. I was like, I might be able to fit this in on a high day. And I was waiting. It had been in my fridge for like 4 days. I hadn't eaten one of them. And my coach was like, okay, if you hit a new low tomorrow, you can have your high day. I did everything I could the day before. Like I trained earlier. I ate my meals earlier. I didn't drink as much water at night. And I was still like well over like a pound where I needed to be when I weighed myself the next morning. I was like, he didn't say when. He just said when you hit a new low. So I went and I did my cardio. I sat in the sauna for 20 minutes. I came home and I was like 2 pounds under my lowest weight. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go have a high day. That was it. That was the one day that I cheated in prep, and the one day that I had food that I did not weigh, cook, and prepare myself for over
Yeah.
20 weeks. And I get it, dude, because yeah, you're like I had a whole list of companies. They're like, can we send you stuff? I'm like, I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. I can't.
I know.
It's,
It's such a bummer. I know mine was on my birthday, so I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm gonna, but I was still like 20 weeks out, so that's that's another thing too. So yeah.
you had room.
Well, are we ready for these questions?
I think we are because we could probably talk about food all day. Not that that's a bad thing. Maybe just
I know I'm a total foodie.
dude, we should just have a random day once. Maybe like add some substances on the side, like some mushrooms or something, but just come in and just
I know I
be
almost
off the
did it
rip.
today, but I was like, no, I think we need to talk about that beforehand.
That would be fun to do one in person like that. Like
Yes.
yeah. All right. Q&A. We finished on 22. That makes me think of Taylor Swift last week. So we got 23 right now. Training till failure versus training 0 to 2 reps in reserve. Thoughts?
So are they I guess are they asking which is better?
I'll let
Is
you
the
interpret it however you want, and then I'll give
Okay.
my reply.
I think training till failure has its place. I don't necessarily think you need to train till failure every exercise, every set. So, they both have their place, for sure. I think with some exercises, training to zero, and it's also like, what are your goals? Um, a lot of variables here. Do you have any injuries? Um, I don't know. Do you have terrible joints? So I would say, training till failure, good on some exercises, especially when it's like a safe movement. Like I think we've talked about this on some sort of podcast before, like a machine where it's like a leg extension. Leg extension is a great exercise to go till failure. Something that you're not going to get injured on. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. So what are your thoughts?
I agree. Knowing the client or the person and what their goals are is going to be huge. Are you just trying to lose a few pounds and look a little better in the mirror? Just train, dude. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it too much. Are you trying to be a world-class bodybuilder or at least win a local show? You bet your ass you're training to failure. Maybe, like Brooke said, not as much on a movement with a high potential for injury, like a barbell back squat. Going to failure on those is a little scary. Granted, you should be doing things like having the safety bars set up or really, 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 really know your shit and know how to bail out. Actually, a kid died squatting with a poor spotter. His coach did not know how to spot him, and he failed at the bottom. And the coach pushed the bar forward, and it rolled up on his vertebrae and broke his neck. Like,
Oh,
kid went down with a rep and died. And so,
wow.
lifting usually isn't very dangerous. And there's things, if he had just had the safety bars on the side, he would have just dropped it there and been totally fine. Like, literally could have prevented this guy from losing his life. So my biggest thing here, my biggest takeaway here is, how do you know what 0 to 2 reps in reserve is? Because
Yeah.
most of y'all never trained to true failure. Like,
Yeah.
here's what I want you to do. If you think you know how to fail on a movement, go get on a hack squat, put your 10 rep max on there, and then go do 20 reps. Film it. Don't stop until you get 20. or until it goes down and it doesn't come back up. That's how you hit failure. Most people aren't willing to go there. It freaking hurts. I even said on my tattoo day, like, I did legs yesterday. This tattoo ain't gonna be shit. Well, tattoo still really freaking hurt, but so does leg day. Like it's up there. Um, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm too RIR and reps in reserve," and I'll watch it and I'll be like, "No, you're like 10. Like you did 12 reps, and you're telling me you could have done 14. But I bet if I gave you $1 million, you'd have done 20 reps." And so I tend with everyone except for my like elite athlete clients, push them to failure because they still don't even really know where failure is yet. You have a few psychos out there, maybe myself and you included, that could go to failure every set, every workout. And then in that case, it might affect your recoverability a little bit. But most people, y'all just need to train harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Ready for the next one? I actually like this one. I'll let you read
Yes.
it.
How do you maintain a long-term friendship? I.e., me and John.
What's your longest friendship that you still have?
Oh my gosh. I would say my one of my best friends, closest friends, Rachel. We've been friends since we were, I would have had to be like 13. So it's a like, God, I'm old.
You're younger than
14,
me.
14 years. So 14 years. Yeah, we've been friends forever. And I mean, we're very different. Like I'm all about working out, eating healthy. Like she's trying to get into working out now. Funny enough. I'm vegan, she's not vegan. We've changed a lot over the years, but at the end of the day, like we're still goofy, funny, silly with each other, and we like, you know, joking around and just being dumb, and like we both are like nerds at our core, so like we love Harry Potter, Star Wars, um all of those things. We like the same music. But we just like we did have a big fight for a long time, for a while, and we didn't talk for a while, but then it was totally my fault, so I'll totally own that. And that was just me
Oh,
being that was me being a little jerk and being very judgmental. And it was about political bullshit, which is so stupid. And so that's why I don't even mess with politics anymore, because it's not worth losing people you love over stupid bullshit that like you really can't even control. Like there's nothing you can do about the political state of our country, the world. Like we can vote, but really what does that even do? What does that even mean? Um so, I'm like, this is stupid. Like we're best friends. Like we've been friends forever. So I think it's just about, being easygoing, not letting small things be big things, and remembering the good things in a friendship. Like if the good outweighs the bad, then it's worth reconciling your differences.
yeah, I agree. Um, I have a few interesting long-term friendships. Um, I think yours is cool because like it sounds like you guys are still close now, right? Like you still talk.
Yes, yeah, we talk. We blow each other up with memes and stuff every single day almost. Like I'll open TikTok and I have like 50 different videos and reels from her.
Aw. Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Well, my friend that helped me become vegetarian at 10, we were born on the same day, and technically we knew each other before we were born because our moms like touched bellies. So they were pregnant at the same time. Our moms were friends. So 31 years would be my longest friendship. Um, but we don't talk very frequently anymore. So it's kind of hard to say that. And then I have my other, probably one of my closest friends from like middle school. We stayed very close friends up until he moved a couple years ago, and then we've just been a little bit distant. But like, I reached out for the first time in like 8 months. I was like, "Hey, I'm getting my head tattooed for this pig Henry. You want to donate?" And like instantly, he sent some money over, and I was like, "Damn." I'm never gonna have those memories like back in high school driving around doing stupid shit. Like, never gonna have that again. I told him I was like, I don't think our lives will ever intersect the same way they did before. but I'm always gonna have those memories. And like, I love you, bro. I love you no matter what. I'm always here for you. Yeah, I think the last time we talked before that was when my dad died. The second he found out, he called me, and we hadn't been on the phone in like probably 2 years, but he just picked up the phone and called. So I think some of it, maintaining that long-term friendship is understanding it's like a wave. Sometimes you're in the same wavelength, sometimes you're not. My best friend Alyssa, I have I have your handwriting tattooed on my forearm, and I have hers underneath it. We hadn't talked for like 2 weeks. She's been super busy with work and school, and then she called me 2 nights ago, and like we got caught up, and I was like, hey man, I know I've been busy, I know you've been busy, and she's like, don't even mention it. Like, we're friends for life. If we go a month without talking, that doesn't change anything. I know you're here for me when I need you, and vice versa. And so, and I actually declined her call when she called because I was eating and I was late. I was behind on a meal. So I was like, sorry. And she's like, dude, never sorry. Like, if you can't talk, I know you're doing something important. And I'm like, yeah, just eating. But I think
I
the
think
four
that's a
agreement. Or sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
I know. I was gonna say I think that's a huge part of like maintaining an adult friendship because I've had girlfriends, believe it or not, who would be like super jealous of like my boyfriends. Like when I would get a boyfriend, they'd be super jealous and they'd be like, "Oh my god, like you spend too much time with him. Like you're forgetting about your friends and you should be hanging out with us more and all this stuff and you need your independence." And it's just like understanding that people have their own lives and you can still be friends with that person, and you don't always have to be around them. You don't have to talk to them every single day or even every week. There's probably plenty of weeks that me and Rachel have gone without talking to each other, but whenever we see each other, it's like we pick up right back where we left off, and there's no animosity like, oh, this weekend you're going to Dragon Con, okay, cool. I'll see you next time, or like whatever. There's no hard feelings there. It's like we're at the point where we could just be so honest. Like she wanted to come over one night, and I'm like, dude, I'm so drained. Like I've been on calls all day. Like I'm sorry, I can't like talk for another hour. She didn't even bat an eye. Totally fine. You let me know like when you want to meet up. We can meet up next week. We can get lunch. And I think that's what's important about maintaining a long term friendship is just like you said, the four agreements. Don't take things
Mhm.
personal, and small
Don't
things are small
assume.
things. Don't
Yeah,
assume. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Like, I think I think one like pro tip for life in general, if somebody's like, "Hey dude, you want to hang out tonight?" and you're like, "Oh, I'm so tired, man, but how about tomorrow or how about Saturday? Would those work for you?" Because if you just say, "I'm too tired," and you say that 15, 20 times, they're going to stop asking. But if you're like, "Hey, today's just not the best day. Can I give you a call back? Can we talk another day? Can we hang out another day?" Then you're like showing, "Yes, I actually am interested. I can't commit right now." For me, I will say we didn't talk nearly as much as we do now. Like, we had a period where we talked a ton, and then we had like a little period where we both were just busy with life. And then once we started working at Plant Strength and then doing our own things together, that's when we talk almost every day. Um,
Yep.
and if you don't reply, I know you're doing something important, and like you'll get back to me
Yep.
when you can. And I know that you do the same for me. Sometimes I still feel a little guilty. I'm like, let me leave this unread. I need to reply, but I'm just all over the place. So I can't. But starting a
But I know
business,
you. Yeah, but like I know
yeah,
you. So I know if you're like, hey, like, can I call you when I'm on the way to the gym? Like I only have 15 minutes, but can I call you then? Like I know you and I know your heart. So I know that you're doing your best to try to like still listen to me and be here for me and support me um the best that you can. You're still giving me your time. So like I'm always grateful for that. So like I think that's important too. If like I know you would never have a bad intention. I know you would never just try to like write me off or you're ignoring me or anything like that. So once again, four agreements. I mean, I need to read that again. I still have it.
yeah.
It's on my bookshelf. The one that you gave me. It's on my
Uh,
bookshelf.
I I love that book. And I love giving it to people and telling them they have to write "Have the Best Day Ever" in the front cover, and then when they're done with it, they have to give it away. So like my buddy Chris that came to my show, he just finished it, and he wrote "Have the Best Day Ever," and he's giving it to his girlfriend. So like
Aw.
now she's gonna get it, and it just keeps going around. I have the poster up on my wall in my kitchen that my mom gave me for Christmas. So I try to read one every day, and just like a little reminder. It's like a little paragraph on each one. If you guys haven't read it, it's like
Read
$8
it.
on Amazon. Read it. If you can't afford $8 on Amazon, send me a DM. Send me your address. I will send you a copy. Like it is that good. It will
Yeah.
change your life. But I
And then
was
you'll
gonna
know what we're
say,
talking about too.
yes, yes, the four agreements. It's easy enough a 10-year-old could understand it, but hard enough that some people will never implement it in their lives. Not all of them. Anyways, starting a business with a friend can be a recipe for disaster, actually. But like you, I talk to you every day now because you're my friend and we have business together. And Sean in the background, I know he can hear this. I talk to him almost every day now, and like he's a mentor, but he's also a friend. And I love that our missions keep us close together. My best friend Jason, we have Athlicity, the clothing company together. Like that's kind of been on our back burners, but we still talk about it maybe once a week. Like it's just an easy way to stay in touch when you have obligations. I don't know. For me, I'm so busy that like if it's not under a work category, it doesn't always happen that day. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you should be like me
Go
or not.
Yeah, go into business. Like I went into business with you because we already had a really good friendship. I knew I could trust you. I knew I could depend on you. I knew you were a hard worker. Like I knew I could count on you. If I asked you to do something, I know you're going to do it. So I think that those are important things in a friendship too. Like if you have your friend that you love your friend, but you don't necessarily know if they're going to follow through on what they say they're going to do, maybe don't do business with them because yeah, business business is a whole nother animal for sure, and that could definitely make or break a friendship.
Yeah, it's easy to say start a business with your friend when you have the world's best friends. If you don't have the best friends, maybe work on that first and then go the business route next. Okay, well, we're 40 minutes in and we've done two questions.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Um,
All right, what's your
25.
mentality? What's your mentality when you're not feeling it at the gym? Do you snap out of it, work through it, or leave? What do you do, John?
Don't get injured is going to be my response to that. So, if you're so out of it, if you're going through a breakup or you just don't feel well that day and you drop a plate on your foot, you're going to be out of the game for a while. For what? For one workout? Like you're not going to make that much progress in one workout. So I would say do whatever is safe. If you're just tired, maybe take a deload. Sometimes what I'll do, like if hack squat just ain't happening this week, I'll go do something completely different. And then the fact that it's new, it'll almost be fun. And then I don't really know how strong I'm supposed to be because if I'm log booking one exercise and I go do a brand new other one, I have no clue how strong I should or shouldn't be. So that's one thing I do. For me, like if you're in prep, just show up. There was a day where I got to work on my last prep. I got to work at like 9. I looked at my watch at 9:15, expecting to say like noon, and I was like, "Oh God, today's gonna be a day." I didn't think I had enough energy to drive to the gym, so I was like, "Well, let's just try." And then I was like, "I don't know if I have enough energy to get to the weight room up the stairs. Let's just try." I don't know if I have enough energy to do my warm up set. Let's just try. And the entire 2 hours was, well, let's just try. And I got through it. Yeah, it sucked. I mean, some days it does suck. You got to know yourself. If you need time off, take time off. If you're the type of person that always takes time off, then suck it up. Buttercup.
Yeah. That's a good one. Um
Um,
yeah, I mean like if you're not feeling it because like John said like you're sick or like maybe you're getting over an injury or like you're just going through a really hard time, be careful, don't get injured. If you're just struggling with consistency, like you know yourself and you know that you just have a hard time getting yourself to the gym, you're just tired, like something's, you got to be real with yourself. And this is why people always say discipline over motivation. Like, there's going to be times where you don't feel like going to the gym. Like, there's times I don't feel like going to the gym, believe it or not. I love the gym, but there's times that I don't necessarily feel like going, but I go because at the end of the day, it needs to be done. And that's discipline. It's doing what needs to be done when you necessarily don't want to do it. And here's the thing, you're never going to walk out of the gym being like, damn, I wish I hadn't done that workout. Like, you're never going to say that. You're always going to be proud of yourself for doing it. You're always going to feel better after. Those feel good endorphins are magic. So I promise you, and like John said, just show up, just do something. Like, do you need to go hit a bunch of PRs? No. But go move your body, get those endorphins flowing. You're gonna feel a lot better when you walk out. And that's what I always tell myself too. Like, I'm gonna regret it if I don't go, but I'm not gonna regret it if I get a good workout in. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. When my clients check in, real quick, like let's say you have on the calendar 5 sessions of 2 hours a week and you're not feeling it on Friday. Take that 2 hours and invest it in yourself in whatever way is best for you. Does that mean maybe do yoga, maybe go to the sauna, maybe go for a walk in nature? If none of those fit you, then go home and get your ass to bed 2 hours early. Go to sleep early. Take those 2 hours and invest it back in yourself. If it's not in the gym, do it another way. Um, Keeping us rolling here. We got to catch up. 26. How to use caffeine efficiently and what might change during a prep. Well, I found that if you inject caffeine intravenously, it works even better. No, I basically live
You
on
junkie.
caffeine. Do not ask me. I'll give actually good advice. Theanine is an amino acid that you can pair with caffeine. 100 to 200 milligrams of theanine alongside your caffeine dose will remove some of the jitters and the crash from the caffeine. So that's one thing you can do. Outside of that, I am not a good resource because I drink way too much caffeine.
I know, I'm so bad. I went without caffeine for a long time, you know this, and I'm so bad. I'm like falling in that trap again, doing a coffee every morning. One day I was like, let me just try like a half scoop of pre-workout. And then I had a great workout. And then I'm like, oh my God, I love pre-workout again. Oh man, it's bad. But still, I'm only doing like less than 400 milligrams a day. So I don't think that's even that bad. I'm just going to try to control myself here. But yeah, during a prep, caffeine can get pretty high because you're just pretty tired and it's really hard to get a good training session in when you're that depleted and food is low. So might need to rely on some caffeine during a prep. How to use it efficiently, I don't know exactly what she means, or he or she or they means by this, but I mean, I would say if you're using it for performance, probably 30 minutes before your training would be really good. I guess that's what they're
it's
asking. And
it's got a long half-life, so you could even do earlier than that. The problem with too much caffeine pre-training, it is a vasoconstrictor, but basically it's makes your veins tighter, so less blood can flow. So your pump is actually going to be worse. I would never have an athlete getting ready for the stage, like pre-stage, take caffeine. Absolutely not. Maybe a coffee that morning, and you're going on stage like towards the afternoon, but otherwise, no. I would say efficiently, if you're not already a junkie, use it on the days you need the most. Like if your legs and back are lacking, like you got great chest and great arms, use it on those training days. Try not to have it at every single meal. Last thing, and then we'll move on to the next one. Our body already has a cortisol release, as best I understand it, when you first wake up. That's what kind of triggers you to wake up.
yep.
Cortisol is already a bit high. And if you take caffeine through like coffee, I believe that can spike your cortisol even higher. So you'll kind of, instead of have like a small spike and then kind of level off and then another small spike, you're like a really big spike and then a drop, like a crash. So to prevent yourself from crashing, like what I do, I wake up, I do my little morning routine, I get the coffee started, then I go to my gym at my apartment, I do my cardio for half an hour, come back, change. Now it's been about an hour since I woke up. Then I'll have my first cup. I don't roll out of bed and get a cup. That's my that's my
Or eat.
justification.
Yeah.
Keeping
Or
it.
eat
Yeah.
with your coffee. A lot of people, they like wake up and they have coffee and then they don't eat till like noon. And that's just that is just a recipe for adrenal issues. So yeah, make sure, like a lot of people think fasting, oh, I'm going to fast, I'm going to intermittent fast, and they drink all this coffee, but it's just stressing your adrenals out. So if you're going to do coffee in the morning, try to eat something.
Yeah. I am not living a great example.
I know I'm getting back on that train myself. So
yeah. 27. How to deal with burnout and staying on track when life gets crazy.
I guess burnout, well, you got to make time for yourself. You got to make time. I mean, if you're burnt out, I mean, I would take a serious look at Oh God, I hope you guys can't hear my dog drinking water. Okay, good. It's really loud. But anyways, you got to make time for yourself. I'd really look at your training split, make sure that you're getting enough rest days in. If you're not getting enough rest, that could definitely be leading to burnout. And that's really important for recovery. As for food, I think a lot of people get burnout with their diet as well. If you're being too restrictive, that can definitely lead to burnout. So I would try to maybe give yourself a refeed day once a week, or try to work in some little treats that you love into your macros. Right now, I'm hooked on this protein ice cream I make every night, and it is literally just like ice cream with the Ninja Creamy. So that totally gives me like my little sugar fix. So like whatever your vice is, like try to work that into your diet. I think the important thing with burnout is being preventative rather than reactive. So you want to catch your burnout and prevent it before you get there. And that's why a lot of coaches like me and John, well, maybe I won't say a lot of coaches, but I know me and John, we don't start people off with like crazy diets and crazy cardio because of this reason. You want to take it nice and slow. You want it to be sustainable. So I would look at your diet, look at what you're doing. Is it sustainable? If not, then you probably need to make some changes.
I agree. Yeah, I don't really have much on top of this. I'm a little bit burnt out myself, so again, not the best person to ask. Brooke's right. You got to make time for yourself. I think a lot of people are not objective with how they spend their time. They're like, I have no time, but oh yeah, did you see the last season of this on Netflix? It's like, well, how did you have time for that? Like, it
Right.
came out last week. Oh, well, I just watched it all on Monday. Well, then you could have, if nothing else, you could have been on your walking pad getting your steps in while you watched your show.
Yeah.
Like, so I think a lot of people don't realize where they spend their time, where they waste their time. I talked to Sean about this off air. I don't remember the last time I said I'm bored. I really cannot recall, like years. Because if I'm waiting in line at the store, I'm working on clients. If I'm in between sets at the gym, I'm trying to get ready for the next set, but sometimes I'm replying to DMs. If there's traffic, if there's a crash on the interstate and I'm working. I'm always doing. I'm never just wasting time. So I need to find a way to like shut it off. Like, hey, it's 10 p.m. and you've been working since 8 a.m. Maybe take a break. That's where I'm at, and maybe becoming more intentional with who I work with. Like I just told you off there, like I want to work more with competitors. So be intentional with your time. So that's about all I got for that one.
Cool. All right. 28, whole food, vegan fitness. This is the question, guys. Whole food, vegan fitness. High protein, low calorie options, meals, bulking, and cutting. There's a lot there. What do you want to reply to that, John? It's a lot of information.
That's a very broad question. I'd
Yeah.
love to know the reasons why. I'm going to take it from a health approach. I'm going to assume that this person wants to be the healthiest person they can be, and they want to use whole foods, so like unprocessed foods. I don't think they mean the store. Whole food, vegan fitness. So there's not going to be in nature a whole lot of high protein, low calorie options on the
Yep.
vegan side. There just aren't. I mean, soybeans are relatively high protein, but they're paired with some fats. Beans and lentils are relatively high protein, but they're paired with a lot of carbs. So what I would say is if you're wanting to become a super jacked vegan, you're probably going to need to add in some form of processed foods, protein powders, tofu, tempeh, maybe seitan. Otherwise, if you're just trying to be healthy, though, whole foods, plant-based diet is the way to go. Like if my goal is to live to be 110, I'd switch over to that right now. That would be what I would do. But I want to be
Yeah.
swole.
Agree. Like, that's the thing people don't realize. If you're bulking and doing whole foods, it'd probably be a little bit easier. But if you're cutting, it's going to be really hard to stay in a big deficit, especially if you're a woman and your calories are like 1600, 1500. It's going to be hard for you to hit that protein goal on a whole foods diet. And also, if the person who asked this question, if you need all the guidance with high protein, low calorie options, meals for bulking and cutting, reach out to me or John, because that's a lot of information.
Yeah, I feel like it would need to be tailored to the individual. So yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
29. This is a good question. List of things you don't track. I don't track my period. I have my female clients do. I don't. Uh,
Oh my gosh, I
uh,
do.
yeah. Okay, there we go. At least one of us is. I don't track heart rate variability. I know some people do that. I don't track that.
I don't either.
More of just ignorance on my end. I already track a lot of things.
Do you track vegetables?
Yeah, I count them. On a bulk, I actually can't eat quite as many, or I've noticed like being in tune with my digestion. If I used to add so many veggies to every meal, like at least 100 grams 6 times a day. That's a lot of veggies, and I noticed that it was messing with my digestion.
Yeah.
So I pulled down on them a little bit. I'll eat vegetables with like 2 to 3 meals a day, and it seems to be healthy enough for me. In a cut, I'll have more. What else? What else are things that people track?
There's
I
not
do
many
track.
things. Yeah, there's not many things I don't track. I mean, I guess honestly, I don't really track micronutrients. I don't really track micronutrients. I don't track sodium. Um I don't track sleep actually. I know a lot of people. What's that? Dressings?
Two shaker cut or two salt shakers
Oh,
full of salt. I don't track sodium either. I just eat a
yeah, I don't
fuckload of it.
track yeah, I don't track sodium. It's kind of hard because I track a lot of things. I don't track my sleep. I know a lot of people wear their like Apple Watch or their ring, like the Aura ring or whatever during their sleep, and I lost mine, so I don't do that anymore. I don't know. Well, I don't track my vegetables. Um, but I pretty much only eat really really low calorie vegetables, and I only do like 2 to 3 servings a day.
And it's because you don't really love vegetables, right?
Um, I like some vegetables. I
Okay.
just it's so actually similar to you. It messes with my digestion. Ever since I used to could do a ton of vegetables, and I've really loved vegetables until I had SIBO. And now
Yeah.
I have anxiety about vegetables. Honestly, that's because I used to eat like a huge bowl. Because I have a really big issue with being in a deficit because I have an insane appetite. Like my appetite is just ridiculous. So it's really hard for me to eat like 1,600 calories a day. So I would just eat a ton of vegetables all day. But ever since I had SIBO, I mean, if I eat like one piece of broccoli or one piece of anything, I would just blow up like a balloon and be in pain all day. So like I still like have this kind of anxiety about eating vegetables. So now I really only do like green beans, spring mix, bell pepper. I guess potato
Yeah.
counts as a vegetable. Just stuff that's really easy on your stomach, you know?
Yeah, I'm all about like finding for myself and my clients easy things. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, kale is healthy, broccoli's healthy. I love
Oh,
cauliflower." It's like I bet your stomach doesn't. You might love it, but your stomach probably doesn't. It's even if it's cooked, it's still. I know
mm,
people are like, "I ate a pound of raw kale a day," and I'm like, "Good lord." Um, yeah. So
good for you.
yeah, other things I don't try. I never have done my body fat percentage. So many people have asked me,
Yeah,
"What's your body fat percentage?" I'm like, that doesn't matter. I don't get to show it on stage, so it doesn't really
me
matter.
either.
Cool. Number 30. Yeah, we're working through these. Can you go over in carbs if your main source is fruits and vegetables?
That's a tricky one. I mean, here's the thing, like, you could still easily I mean, I guess it depends on what your goals are and how serious you are about getting the results you want as well. I mean, always fruits and vegetables are gonna be healthy, but you could still end up in a surplus easily if you went bananas with fruits and vegetables. So, that would be something to think, especially some fruits like berries are pretty low in calories, but like if you ate a bunch of pineapple,
Bananas.
mango, bananas, I mean a banana is like 100 calories per one banana. So if you eat 3 bananas, I mean you could easily be in a surplus. So I would say be mindful about about your calories and make sure that you're still staying within your deficit if that's important to you.
Yeah, they said, can you go over? Hell yes, you
Yeah, you
can.
can.
Should you? That's up to you. I would say if you're like, man, I know I'm going to go raid the pantry, I'm going to do something I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, maybe then you eat some green beans or some cucumber or something like that. And okay, that held me over. Or I tell clients, I'm like, if you're hungry, go eat a pickle. They're like, I don't want a pickle. I'm like, well, then you're not hungry. If you were starving on an island right now, you would eat a pickle. And
I
they're
love
like, well,
pickles.
yeah. So try and maybe trick yourself. I don't really know what they mean. I wonder if what they mean is like, hey, I'm supposed to have 200 carbs a day, but if I do 250 from fruits and veg, since it's healthy, does that matter? Like, well, calories still count.
Yeah, I
So,
think I feel like that's probably what they're asking.
okay, next one, 31. Is it okay to just be on maintenance?
Yeah.
It is okay. What are your goals? Like, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Uh,
Honey, it's okay.
you know, if you're a bodybuilder, we're usually striving towards becoming a better bodybuilder, which usually means working towards increasing muscle mass or decreasing fat mass. What I will say in the bodybuilding realm, especially like a men's open competitor like myself, we'll push drugs and we'll push food and we'll push intensity as hard and long as we can, maybe 20 weeks. And then after that, we don't necessarily want to jump right into a cut because we won't have the assistance from the drugs. We'll need to take a little break from that. Our joints are all beat up. And we've just built this muscle or accrued this tissue. If we go right into a cut, it's gonna come off potentially easier. So if we do a 20-week bulk, then we might sit at maintenance for 8 weeks and then jump into like a little mini cut to give our bodies a break, our joints a break, our digestive system a break. So it's still working towards becoming that better bodybuilder. It's like in NASCAR. Sometimes you got to take a break, change your tires. I don't know. I'm not big into NASCAR, but like an analogy that works. And then you can get back out there. But if you're just like, I want to be at maintenance the rest of my life, well, you're going to just maintain then. You're probably not going to grow or shrink. Like you'll just maintain. That's what you want. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, are you happy with your results? Are you happy with your body? Then it's totally okay to be in maintenance. So, I mean, that's something to think about too. And, for a lot of women too, like like you said, John, they cut forever and ever and ever, and they're in a chronic calorie deficit for so long. And it would be really beneficial, just health wise, to be in maintenance for a little while. If you don't want to put on a whole bunch of body fat through a bulking or a gaining phase, you can make progress in a maintenance phase. So, yeah, it is more than okay.
Yeah. 32. Just a comment. It would be helpful to know macros our coaches are following. Okay. I can pull
Mm.
mine up.
I know. I actually need to pull mine up too.
Y'all are about to get all the secrets here. So I have them pretty much. I have my meals built out. I have to build out my meals because my coach doesn't. He coaches top level bodybuilders. He doesn't have any other vegans, so I pick my own meals. And I just copy those in my FitnessPal from one day to the next. So I have different macros based on the day. On a training day, that ends up being 5 days a week, 370 protein, 500 carbs, 80 grams of fat. On my off days, usually 2 days a week, 290 grams of protein, 300 carbs, 75 grams of fat. And on my back day, we're really trying to grow my back. I get 300 grams of protein, 750 grams of carbs, and 100 grams of fat. So
Mm.
usually protein's at least 300 up to 370. Carbs are anywhere from 300 to 750. Fats are usually around 80. So, I mean, that's where I'm at. And I'm
Damn,
242
I'm
pounds.
jealous. I wish I could eat that much.
I used to eat a lot more. My body's like kind of down regulated how much food it needs, which is actually a good thing. My coach had a conversation with me. He's like, we want to grow you off the least amount possible. With like all these guys doing 7,000 calories to grow, even
Mm.
if they're staying lean, think about how much their stomach is having to work. We want you to be efficient, not inefficient, to where you're eating 6,000 calories to grow and you could grow on 4,000. So
Yeah. So I like John. I also have ones on, I have different macros for training days, and then I have different macros for rest days. So on my training days, I have 170 protein, 140 carbs, and 45 fat. On my rest days, I have 170 protein, 90 grams carbs, and 40 fat.
How's
Yay
your hunger on?
me. Oh
It's
man,
so
I
many
am
steps.
God, yeah, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. It's really hard. I'm supposed to be cutting right now and losing weight. I'm actually supposed to be in a prep. Um, but it's just my body's just so slow with my thyroid is just not happy. So I'm gonna do some more blood work this week though. But yeah, I'm pretty hungry. I like I said, I have a big appetite.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Yeah. I've been doing a
You know
lot of
how?
those like low calorie, those low calorie shirataki noodles.
Mhm.
So I've
You
been
told me
doing
about those.
those.
Right? Yep.
Yep, I've been doing those. A lot of cucumber, lots of cucumber. You wouldn't want to be a cucumber in this house. Yeah.
Yeah, I had those in prep, and sometimes that's shit. I lied. I think I did sneak an extra cucumber one day in prep. I was pretty close, but like they're like 20 calories.
Yeah, that doesn't even matter. It's like just water, basically.
To put this in perspective, in prep on my low days, I got down to 270 protein, 100 carbs, and 60 grams of fat. 100 carbs for me is not a lot of food. That's hard
That's
to do.
insane for
Yeah,
you.
it was it was hard.
Ugh.
Um, cool. 33. What keeps you motivated slash disciplined to keep going?
Hmm. A lot of things. For me, I really just want to be I want to be the best that I can be. And honestly, it's really not hard for me to be motivated or disciplined. And I'll just be honest about that because I love training. I love working out. I was really unhealthy at one point and I was really sick and I still remember what that felt like and I still remember hating how I looked and being pretty miserable. So I have no desire to go back there. So it's not hard for me to still want to be active, go to the gym. I have tons of health issues in my family. We have strokes, we have heart conditions, we have diabetes, we have high blood pressure. Um, and watching what has happened to my family over the years uh, is so much motivation for me to stay healthy, to eat right, to stay in the gym. So, that's huge. And also, I mean, just the fact that, of course, being vegan, I want to represent our lifestyle in the best way possible. Like, I remember being at the gym and people just being shocked that I was vegan when I first started training there. And that's awesome to me. That's the kind of impact that I want to make. When people talk about veganism not being healthy, like how could you tell me I'm not healthy? So yeah, all of those reasons are really important to me. But like I said, it's not hard for me to be disciplined or motivated. It's just it makes me feel good.
Right there with you, dude. It's like a drug. Achievements is like a drug. It's like getting a high. Um, I remember my mom telling me I was 3 years old and I wanted to race her from the car to open the door, and she didn't know it was a race, and she beat me. And I threw myself on the ground and threw a temper tantrum for 10 minutes until we had to go back to the car and do it over so that I could win. That's me at 3. So it's always been in me to be competitive, I guess, even with my own mom. Um, but now I don't know how some of y'all love bodybuilding so much to just do it to do it. If I wasn't vegan or if the world became vegan, I'd hang this up. I'd be done. But this is my activism. So what keeps me motivated? Well, if I turn this way and I point this way, those are the two things. Like I want to try and change the world before I die. I think I've already done that some. I think through this podcast and through the next few years, things are gonna fly by. Um, that's what keeps me going, is knowing that I can have a change in the world, and anybody can. If you're listening, one, you buy food, so you get to vote with your dollar with your food. You can be an example for other people. You can just be kind to somebody. If you make somebody smile, like, you don't know how many people that's going to ripple and affect throughout the next forever. Um, so that keeps me going. In prep though, I was like, I got to do this for the vegans, like
Yeah.
to show it that it can be done at this level, and it was hard.
Yeah, I feel
So
you on that. My motivations for bodybuilding are way different, and I'll be totally honest with you. It's sometimes it's hard to be, especially now. Like when I did my first prep, it wasn't hard for me to be motivated to do that. I'd never done it before, so I didn't really know what to expect. And then also, I was just in a really bad place. Like I'd come out of a really bad situation, and I was already in a lot of pain. So prep was like nothing compared to what I had gone through. But I'll be honest now, like my coach wants me to prep now, and it's really hard to find motivation to suffer and to starve myself and to do all this cardio and to give up date nights with my boyfriend and give up all these, like it's hard now because I'm like I'm happy. So
yeah.
it's kind of hard to force myself not to eat and to suffer that way. So but I do want to do it again for a couple of reasons. For yes, I do want to represent vegans in a better way. I mean, I would love to get a pro card at some point. I don't know if that'll happen. And also, I did get kind of screwed over. I feel like my first two preps with my coach, I never got to really see my best package. Like, I remember waking up both of my shows and I'm like, this is not what I should look like. Like, I looked better a week ago. And it was like everything got totally screwed up during peak week. And so I feel like I never really got to see my best. So, that's kind of motivating me right now to do another prep, but I hear you. Bodybuilding, it's hard to be motivated to do that. I like it blows my mind that people do this for like 20 years. I just can't imagine. Like it's their whole life. It's crazy.
Unless you're on a crusade, like trying to convert people to a different religion or show veganism, yeah, I don't know how you do it. So props to them. They're a little
I
crazy.
do I do have one more question for you though. What would you say, cuz you kind of gave your insight on your motivation for bodybuilding, like if you weren't bodybuilding, you would still work out, obviously. What would you say is your motivation just for like everyday people, like lifestyle people who are just even struggling to work out and eat healthy? What would your motivation be to continue being healthy and working out?
Well, I enjoy working out. Training for bodybuilding and working out are two different things. The yesterday training with Silas and playing around doing muscle ups and like different style push-ups, like that's working out. It's not training. I even told him at the end, I was like, dude, I had so much fun today. I don't think I became a better bodybuilder, but I genuinely enjoyed our time and our exchange of energy. Thank you so much. And that's the truth. I don't think it made me a better bodybuilder. It was a fun workout. So I'll do that until I die, or I'll do cycling or something, just because I like that endorphin rush. I like doing things that appear to be impossible, where I really doubt myself and keep going and finish. In prep, I had the doubt myself, keep going and finish thing happen like 1,000 times. In other aspects of my life, I walked 100,000 steps in a day before, and there were a number of times when I was like, I got to 60,000. I'm like, I can maybe do this. And then at 80, I was like, I don't know. My feet really hurt. Actually, that happened the first time I got to 84,000 and I quit. I had blisters on every single one of my toes and on my heels. I was like, okay, I learned something. I need to tape all my toes. I need to tape my heels. I need to start earlier. So I got up the second time at 4 a.m. and walked until 10 p.m. I got my 100,000. And there were so many times that day where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. With this fundraiser with Alex, there were a number of times where I was like, I don't know if we're going to hit the goal. And then we did. And it's so empowering to do something that you don't know if you can do and then to do it. And then go back and aim higher. Because if you succeeded, in a way, you failed. Because really, I think when you fail at something is when you truly succeed. It's a little bit circuitous, backwards, but like, if I'd set this fundraiser for 10 grand and I raised 9, it's a bigger success than setting it for 5 and raising 6. So that's how my brain works. I'm always trying to do more. Yeah, I mean, what's your why? That's what in my coaching questionnaire, it's what's your goal? And then second question is the most important one. Why is this your goal? Oh, I want to lose weight because I want to be able to play with my kids. Or my mom died of cancer. I don't want to have the same thing happen to me. I don't want to leave my kids without a mom. Or whatever their reason why, it's yours. You get to pick it. And once you have that, everything else just falls into play. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yeah.
This next one's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Hi, I know you, Brooke / John, have hinted about doing drugs, LOL, but curious to hear y'all's opinion on using drugs / PEDs, that means performance enhancing drugs, in general as vegans, holistically. Even if certain drugs are considered natural, curious to know if drugs have always been something you've been open to, or maybe only after competing. That was a lot.
Yeah, that's a whole paragraph. Okay, well, here's my personal opinion. I don't think anybody should be using drugs or PEDs. I mean, if you're not in a competitive sport, that's with the exception of testosterone, which I don't really consider like a drug PED. I consider that like a medicine. Truly, I think testosterone is so demonized, and it's so important, not only for men's health but for women's health. Women are like, testosterone. We don't need testosterone. Yeah, you guys need testosterone. Like, when testosterone declines, so does everything else. And trust me, like, that's when shit hits the fan. And that's why so many women have all these issues in menopause. They have no testosterone. And testosterone is really important for bone health, libido. I mean, like, I could go on and on. So, with the exception of testosterone, I just don't, there's no need for PEDs outside of a competitive sport, in my opinion. That's me.
To each their own. To clarify, testosterone in a hormone replacement therapy dose, because I could do 1,000 mgs of testosterone a week, and I ain't gonna be anywhere near natural.
Yeah.
For a man, a like normal hormone replacement dosage might be anywhere from 100 to 200 milligrams per week. Don't quote me. Go ask your doctor. For a woman, anywhere from like 6 to 12 milligrams a week, maybe. I know women that do even less than that. So, yes, testosterone is naturally occurring. It's something that's going to be in our bodies, anyways. If you take something else, like Anavar, one of the most common other drugs in bodybuilding, well, that's not natural. Your body's never going to produce Anavar. This is a synthetic compound made in a lab. It's not natural. So they asked if certain drugs are considered natural. Like caffeine's a drug. I don't know if that's natural or not. Cocaine it comes from the coca leaf, right? Like mushrooms, psychedelics, those are drugs. I mean, these are all drugs. They affect you. It's kind of up to you as an individual to assess your risk tolerance, what you're willing to risk by using these, or what you're willing to risk by not. If you're a man that's low testosterone or a woman that's not producing, what are the side effects of not having this? You're more likely to have a heart incident in men if your testosterone is low for a long time. So these are things to consider. And I am not a doctor. I recommend you talk to a doctor or a coach that knows what they're doing. I'm not giving blanket advice for people on the podcast. As far as using them in general and competing, I started my competing career as a natural. After that run ended, I ended up going on TRT and then dabbling or diving in headfirst into other drugs. And I had no intention of getting on stage. I just wanted to be big. And I think that's a personal decision for you to make. I will say certain drugs don't really have a use outside of competing. Like, you probably don't need to take Tren if you're not competing. Somebody just knocked on the door right when I said that. I hope they're not trying to come in.
It's the feds. Oh my
Actually,
gosh.
it might be the floor repair people. This is not a good time. So yeah, I mean, it's a personal decision, just like any other drug. Like, how am I supposed to say, oh, you can't use these drugs because you're not a bodybuilder, but you can go smoke weed? Like, it kind of depends. But certain things like Tren, like anybody that has ever asked me on a client perspective to use that drug, not in a competition setting, has had no business being there. They've not run other drugs that are safer. They haven't put in the time with the diet and the training. Like, you should at least, I would just a blanket statement here. If you've not been in the gym for an entire year without pretty much not missing a single day, other than due to like serious illness, where you haven't meal prepped for 6 out of 7 days for the last year, and you haven't hired a coach to track your form and push you in the gym, and you're already and you are currently still making progress, not like you're making no progress and you think drugs is going to be the magic fix unless you are low testosterone, and then you get that prescribed by a doctor, and then you're making progress again. If you're not doing those things, then drugs aren't the answer.
Yep.
So hopefully that helps. I think you can use what you want. I want it, like if I stopped competing, I still want to be big. I still want to be a walking billboard, and compare to guys that use. Um, I think the specifics here for this person is it depends on the dose. It depends on what you're doing. It depends. Um, yeah,
Another like, because there's so many gray areas by saying drugs and PEDs, because another thing that would be like banned in the natural federations but not in the NPC or IFBB is peptides. And peptides like have zero side effects, most of them whatsoever, but like a lot of them are really 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 beneficial. Like BPC 157 is like really good for gut health and joint health. So many benefits. TB 500 is really good for fighting inflammation. So there's so many different peptides that you could use, but they would be banned in the Natural Federation. You wouldn't be able to use those there. But once again, it's something that you could use to help your performance, to help your recovery. Like we talked about, caffeine is technically a drug. So like, I don't know, it's like, where do you draw the line? But again, it's like it's a personal decision, but I think everyone should make an informed decision and make sure that they're very well aware of the side effects. Maybe even talk to somebody who's used it before and talk to them about their experience. Because you just want to make sure you know what you're getting into, because a lot of these things, some of them are harmless, and then some of them, it's like once you go down that path, like there's no going back, and you just need to know what you're getting into. And I think a lot of people aren't always making informed decisions. They just hear about somebody else at the gym doing it or their friend doing it, and so they try it. Especially women, you have to be really really careful what you're
yeah,
taking and how much you're taking.
yeah. There needs to be a big thought process. I mean, I thought about it for like 5 years before actually making the plunge. I had been researching. I knew a lot. I'm gonna contradict you here in the most polite way possible. Every drug has a side effect, depending upon the dose, depending upon what you're doing. Even things that might inherently have no immediate side effects, like BPC 157 and TB 500. Those are peptides. They're great. They're used for healing. I use them myself. Do we have decades of research to know that they don't promote cancer? I don't know. That's something that might need to be looked into. Like, they might be safe to use when you have like an elbow tendon strain or tear, to help with recovery there. But if you use them every day for the next 5 years, I don't know. Things that promote growth and healing, like growth hormone, can promote cancer, or at least if you have cancer, they can accelerate it. So there's always an asterisk, even with caffeine. There are side effects, especially dose dependent. If you have a glass of green tea every day, probably going to be just fine. But if you're like me and you're having a pot of coffee almost every day, might start to have some mineral leaching or other things. So everything comes with a cost. I'll put it that way. It's either upfront or time deferred, but there's a cost to everything. So you guys need to know that and be educated to that. And what are your goals? You want to get 10 pounds bigger, add 20 pounds to your bench? You don't need drugs for that. So it's like, what are your goals? We could probably talk about this all day.
Yeah, that could be a
Uh,
whole podcast for sure.
yeah. 35. How long did it take you to build a social media following? That's a good one.
Years and years and years. I'm still working on building mine for sure. Let's see, I started in 2020 with like 2000 and some change, maybe like 2100, something like that. And now I'm here April 2024, almost 70,000. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So it's taken a long time. A really long time.
years and years and years sounds right. I mean, I created the bodybuilding vegan account back in 2013 to document my first prep, like forever ago. And then I didn't really get active again until like 2019. But in 2019, I was like, I'm gonna post twice a day, every day. I did that. I have over 3,000 posts now, so you can do the math there. I mean, sometimes I look at people's account; they have like 200 posts. I'm like, dang, they blew up quick. It took me a lot longer.
I know. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how people do it or if they're buying followers or what, but I mean, it takes a while. It takes a while to build up a following, and you're always going to have people unfollow you too and bot accounts and spam accounts and stuff like that. So it takes time. If you
Yeah.
want to build your social media following, it's probably going to take you a few years.
Yeah. 36. When and why did you go vegan?
2018, I went vegan after watching What the Health. Um, and that was pretty much it. I didn't want to support big pharma, the big agricultural industries, the factory farming. I didn't want to harm animals. I didn't want to consume animals, and that's pretty much it.
So how many years is that for you now?
Let's see, that was 2018, so 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I think it's probably even cool that I mean, to the people that are older and make the switch, it's probably harder to do that than to do it when you're young, because you're not so ingrained. You're not. Like, I never cooked meat for myself. I never had to learn how to cook meat because I already made the swap. Like for some
yeah.
people, they have to learn how to cook new things. Like I just had to learn how to cook in general. Um, so I was 10 years old when I went vegetarian. Like I said, a lifelong friend had convinced me that killing a cow to make a hamburger wasn't right. 3 years later, I was 13 and I went vegan. So I've been vegan like 17, 18 years now. It's honestly just normal. Like I don't even know what it would be like to not be vegan. It's gotten a lot easier. Like in the world, there's a lot more options now than 18 years ago. Um, and I did it for the animals. It was solely for the animals, like the individual animal at first, and now it's for the world. Beside, um, like I think the biggest decision we can make with our time here on Earth is to go vegan or become, the next level, become a vegan activist. Because if we don't, there's not going to be an Earth for humans, in probably the next couple lifetimes. Um, I put up a whole video on my YouTube. You can watch that if you want, like the whole nitty gritty. But yeah, that's the short answer.
I have a video of
30.
of why and how I went vegan too.
Cool. Check out our channels. Um, 37. How to make a protein packed savory breakfast.
I love a savory breakfast. I've been doing savory breakfast for several months now. I haven't done a sweet breakfast in a long time. I'm loving the Say Grace protein. The is it the bits? The bits of
Bits. Yep.
grace. So I love the bits of grace, and then I make those like buffalo style, and then I have these savory oats by Prozis, and they're cheese and herb flavored, but they are vegan, and they are so freaking good. And I put those together with a little avocado, and I literally have been eating that every day for months. I love it.
I would pretty much second that. I don't have a. Is it Prozis or Pros? How did you say it?
Prozis.
Prozis. Oats, salt, pepper, garlic. You could do guac or avocado, or like a macadamia nut oil for the fats, and then for the proteins, something like Say Grace or TVP. Whip it up. Super easy. A lot of people are gonna be like, savory oats. That's weird, but try it. I have a recipe on my YouTube channel.
I love savory oats. I'm totally hooked on them. And you can also do tofu scramble for another savory breakfast. Or like a little, like I used to make these little sandwiches, like a egg bacon kind of sandwich with these protein bagels. So the tofu would be the egg, and then the bacon would be seitan, and that was really good too.
There's a lot of options. That's good. 38. Almost there, Brooke. Can a vegan get enough protein without soy, gluten, fava, pea protein isolate, corn, or oats, and keep calories in check?
Okay, so no soy, no gluten, no fava, no pea protein, no corn, no oats.
All right. So I'm gonna just list off whatever I can think of: hemp, protein is an option.
Rice protein.
Rice protein's an option. That's pretty limited.
I know you'd have to get into lentils, which are a huge carbohydrate as well.
Lentils, beans, nutritional yeast.
Nutritional yeast. Oh, those what is that called? It's called meaty, but I'm trying to think of the actual ingredient. It's like mushroom something. I don't know. It's like a Do you know what I'm talking about? Those meaty steaks?
Do they use pea or no?
No, it's made from mushroom. It's like mushroom something. I can't think of the actual ingredient, but it's they're like steaks, these like meaty steaks, and they have chicken cutlets now. It's like 20 something grams of protein for a steak. So I mean you could do that. They have them at Whole Foods.
Yeah, I guess the goal dependent here. Just trying to be healthy. Oh, for sure. Trying to be a
Yeah.
bodybuilder.
Don't even worry about it.
You might just need to add in a lot of those like rice shakes. But I wouldn't let it hold you back. Everybody told me I couldn't do what I do. My entire life, at least since the first day I lifted weights, I was told you can't build muscle. I mean, you could probably throw in extra aminos like leucine or even like essential amino acids with a couple meals a day, and I think it could be done. And if this is a dude or girl that wants to work with a coach, send me a DM. I'll tackle this with you. It's hard, but I don't think impossible.
Agreed. Yeah, you can do it. Will you be the most built, muscular, successful bodybuilder in the world? Maybe not. But if you just want to be healthy, then you don't really need to worry too much about how much protein you're getting.
Yeah, and I mean, it depends on what you're willing to do. If you're willing to do a lot of rice shakes and the amino acids, I don't see a reason why you can't be damn good on stage. I don't know who you are, but let's talk. 39. Are you LGBTQ plus question mark?
No, I'm straight.
Is that what that means?
I'm pretty sure, right? Are you lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, plus, right?
Does the plus mean like inclusive? Like, see, I'm straight, but I do not discriminate for clients or friends or people. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. Now I feel ignorant.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that they're asking us. I'm pretty sure they're asking us what our sexuality is.
They must be asking me because I look interesting on some days. Well,
I don't know. This was one I got on that anonymous one, so I don't know. It could be for me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay. Well, if whoever would like further clarification, drop us another link. What types of foods helped you heal your gut and your hormones?
Oh wow, that's a whole podcast right there. I would say it's less about like the certain foods and more so just like about your whole lifestyle change. Because it's not like any certain food can fix your gut or your hormones. If it was that simple, none of us would have gut issues or hormone issues. So it's more about like, at least for me, getting enough sleep, exercising, certain supplements. And then I would say it's more so about what type of foods you're not eating. I think that's, a bigger role here. So for like my gut health, I totally took out artificial sweeteners like sucralose, except for stevia and monk fruit because those are natural. I took those out for a while. Inflammatory foods, inflammatory oils. I took out gluten for a while I was healing my gut. I did low FODMAP. It's a huge acronym. I couldn't tell you what it stands for, but look it up, FODMAP. Basically, a lot of the vegetables that cause digestive disruption, like we talked about, and hormones, pretty much all the same things. Just making sure you're taking care of yourself and keeping inflammation low.
Yeah, I think for this question, it's so individual for the person.
Totally.
Like if they're trying to fix their gut and their hormones, blood work is going to be needed. You're going to need to dive into what you're doing. I
GI
can't just
map.
list. Yeah, it's not like these magic 5 foods will help. I mean, they might help, but it might not be a good full fix. Alrighty. Last one. 41. Overtraining. I know I do this at times.
Great question.
I'd like to see what their overtraining is. I'd like to get that idea. Like I don't think many people overtrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see what you're doing. I'd like to see some training footage. I'd like to see how many days a week you're going to the gym. If you're going to the gym 7 days a week, you're not training 7 days a week. You're like, I hate to say it, but like half-assing some of it. And maybe you don't even know that you are. Maybe you think you're going hard, but no pro bodybuilders, nobody in any sport at the top level trains hard every single day. So if you are, you might need to reevaluate what hard is and find a new hard for you. Find a way to pull back and push harder on the days that you do go, so that you need those recovery and rest days. Maybe you're training and not eating enough. Maybe you're under eating. Rarely. Some elite athletes do this. If you're an elite athlete, you're already winning shows. Okay, maybe you are. And then you should probably be working with a coach to fix this question. If you're a regular person, you're probably not overtraining or under recovering, or yeah, I guess that's why I'm at.
Yeah, it's kind of more like a statement. I wish they had been a little bit more specific with their overtraining, because like it could be anything. Like, how do you know if you're overtraining? How to prevent overtraining? There's like, so I wish people, and we got a lot of those like that. Like they were more like statements rather than questions. But yeah, I think most everyday people are not overtraining. I think most everyday people are, like you said, they're under recovering. So like their sleep sucks. They're not getting enough protein. They're not getting enough calories in. I don't know. There are a few people, like, I guess maybe if you're gung-ho psycho on losing a bunch of weight very quickly, you could overtrain. But it's most likely going to lead to either you getting sick or you getting injured. And then you're really going to be set back. Then you're really going to have to take a lot of time off. So I think people overtrain, like they're like, oh, I need to train 7 days a week because I can't miss a day. They feel like they can't afford to take a day off. And it's like, well, you're going to get injured and then you're going to have to take 8 weeks off. So, you're better off to just take your rest days. 4 to 5 days a week is sufficient, even 3 for some people. Nobody needs to be training 7 days a week. You're not training hard enough if you're training 7 days a week.
Yeah, I would say look at progress week over week. If you're not improving, something's probably wrong. If you're training 7 days a week and you're not making progress, something's probably wrong. If you're hitting a PR every single time you go to the gym and you're training 7 days a week, screw it, keep doing it. Eventually, you'll hit a point where you don't. Maybe you're a very big beginner and just able to make those incremental jumps right now. But yeah, if you're not getting stronger every week, something's wrong or something needs to be addressed. Or you're like deep in a prep and this is expected. If you're not getting stronger every week and it's expected that you should, something's wrong. Maybe you're overtraining, maybe under eating, under sleeping. Give us some more details. If anybody had a question here out of these 41 that we didn't fully answer, and you're like, dang, I really wish they would have sent us a DM. We'll get back to you. That's all I got, Brooke. We did 41 questions over the course of 2 podcasts. This was fun. We'll do this again for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we got the pretty good questions, even though some of them we had to like kind of decipher ourselves and try to read their mind. But yeah, you guys asked some really good questions. So hopefully this helps some people and you guys know what to do with your own health and fitness.
Yeah, thank you guys. And if you're at this point and you want to leave another question, just go to vegansexplore.com vegansexplore.com.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I think that's it. All right. Vegansexplore.com. And you'll be able to find the Vegans Who Lift page. And there's a question where you can leave a voice note. Okay. Vegansexplore.com/vegans-who-lift. That'll take you there. DM us if you need help. But you can leave a question. Amber left us a question. It really does help us give some content to go over, and we will answer your questions. But I gotta pee. That's where I'm at right now.
That means we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh man, this was fun. Season finale next week.
Season finale.
We got a special guest, one of the greatest. I think we leave it a little ambiguous.
Yeah,
He's a wonderful
yeah.
person. I love him. He rocks.
That's all you guys
We'll leave it
get.
at that. That's all y'all get. All right.
Tune in next week for the season finale of Vegans Who Lived with our special guest. And leave us a message at vegansexplore.com. Leave us a message and we'll answer your questions. And if we didn't answer any questions today, DM us. We're always more than happy to help.
Yes. All right, guys. Have the best day ever. We'll see you next week.